Part 2. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Tien Taido. Chapter 11. Hazi, brother Tao, where are you now? Wu Chao sent another message in the WeChat group and asked. Chen Tao is the oldest in the dormitory, followed by Wu Chao, then Xiaoji, and Li Hao is still the youngest, although they are only a few months apart. Chen Tao, I'm still at home, what's the matter? Li Hao. Wu Chao, are you free? Come out, go shopping with me. Chen Tao. Li Hao. Xiaoji, shopping? Is that what boys do? Wu Chao, oh, come out quickly. I'll wait for you in Shanghai. I'll also take care of your lunch. I don't know what's wrong with Wu Chao, he actually wants Li Hao and the others to go shopping. Chen Tao, brother Chao, you said it, I'll come out right away. When Chen Tao heard that Wu Chao even took care of lunch, he immediately agreed. Okay, I'll be out right away. Li Hao also replied. It's the weekend today, and there's nothing to do. It's good to go out for a walk, maybe I'll get some tips. What's more, someone will invite me to dinner. As for Xiaoji, I won't come. I did it too many times last night, and I'm still weak. This guy seems to have indulged himself too much. He hasn't gotten up yet. Several people are not surprised. Soon, Li Hao washed his hair, packed up simply, and left the villa. But just after leaving the villa, he saw a woman in a white shirt and a blue skirt in the villa next door, carrying a bag, just walked out. This Qin Yaking, wearing this professional suit, looks like a domineering beauty president. She is very cold and beautiful, and she has a feeling of keeping people away from her. Qin Yaking glanced at Li Hao lightly, her fair face flushed a little, without saying hello, and then walked towards the garage without a look. Li Hao also retracted his gaze and sighed in his heart, this is the real goddess, if she can be his girlfriend, it would be so cool. Thinking of yesterday's scene, Li Hao couldn't help but bleed from his nose. Getting angry. Others didn't say hello, so Li Hao naturally didn't take the initiative to say hello, and walked straight to the gate of the villa area. It's a bit inconvenient without a car. It seems that I still have to get a car when I go back. Li Hao hasn't had time to take the driver's license test yet. Not far away, a red Porsche stopped beside Li Hao. Where are you going? Let me take you. The woman's voice came from the car, as if it didn't contain any emotion. It turned out to be Qin Yaking, the cold goddess. Li Hao was a little surprised. Shanghai. Li Hao said lightly. Then get in the car, my company is not far away, just on the way. Qin Yaking said again. Li Hao didn't hesitate. He didn't know if Qin Yaking was really going the same way, but it was good that someone was giving him a ride and he didn't need to take a taxi. Li Hao immediately sat in the passenger seat. Sitting in the car, Li Hao smelled a fragrance coming from Qin Yaking next to him, which made Li Hao feel distracted. Li Hao didn't expect that the other party would take the initiative to give him a ride. It seems that this woman is not as cold as she seems. The system's prompt is really right. This is a girl who is cold on the outside but warm on the inside. At the gate of the villa area, security guard Zhou Tai is still on duty. Yesterday, he was severely scolded by the manager and almost left because he made a mistake and offended someone he shouldn't have offended. Fortunately, the other party didn't care about him. Zhou Tai swore that he must keep his eyes brighter in the future, especially when he meets a guy who looks ordinary, he must be more cautious. He may be a big boss, and he is low-key because he wears ordinary clothes. So, Zhou Tai kept a smile on his face today and must give everyone a good impression. But at this time, a red Porsche drove over. Zhou Tai naturally recognized this car, it was the car of Qin Yaking, the first goddess of our Jiangbei No. 1 courtyard. Soon, the Porsche came to Zhou Tai and was ready to pass the gate. Zhou Tai looked carefully and found that there was a person sitting on the co-pilot. There was a person sitting on the co-pilot of the goddess, and it seemed to be a man. This was the first time he saw it. Then, Zhou Tai saw the man's appearance clearly. For a moment, Zhou Tai was stunned, and a storm arose in his heart. Damn, isn't this the guy from yesterday, the owner of Villa number 13? Zhou Tai's face suddenly changed, and he tensed up in an instant, stood at attention, and saluted directly to the two people in the car. It wasn't until the red Porsche drove out quickly that Zhou Tai breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the Porsche, the shock in his heart could not be calmed for a long time. Oh my God, he only moved in for one day, and he actually got on the car of the first goddess of our villa area and picked up the goddess. Master, this is a master. The red Porsche sped all the way to Shangulai. But the atmosphere in the car was a little quiet, or a little awkward, because neither of them spoke. Until they were about to get off the car, Qin Yaking finally spoke first. Thank you for yesterday. Li Hao smiled and replied. No thanks, just don't take it to heart. Well, what are you doing in Shangulai? Qin Yaking couldn't help asking again. I made an appointment with a friend to go shopping. Li Hao said very directly. Hearing Li Hao's words, Qin Yaking couldn't help but feel strange in her heart. Shopping with friends? Should it be a girlfriend? Qin Yaking was too embarrassed to ask. Unexpectedly, Li Hao smiled and said. Alas, I don't know what's wrong with my roommate. He insisted on calling me out for shopping and treating me to dinner. I'm embarrassed not to come, haha. It turned out to be a roommate. For some reason, Qin Yaking seemed to be relieved by Li Hao's words. After chatting for a few words, the atmosphere in the car became much more relaxed, and the two of them became more familiar with each other. Soon, we arrived at Shangulai. Shangulai is the most prosperous commercial street in Jiangbei, and it is also a gathering place for luxury goods. Here, you can see beautiful women everywhere. Here, local tycoons are everywhere. Countless luxury cars appear here. Countless internet celebrities start broadcasting here. In short, the prosperous atmosphere everywhere here, the soil is filled with the fragrance of money. Li Hao got off the car and soon saw his two roommates, Wu Chao and Chen Tao, under a landmark building. Hazi, this way. Brother Chao, Brother Tao. Why do you want to go shopping today? Three grown men, but not a single girl. Li Hao complained. It's Wu Chao. His goddess has a birthday today and wants to hold a birthday party for her. Hazi, do you think this guy really wants to treat us? Chen Tao couldn't help but say. Li Hao. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 12. After some conversation, Li Hao finally figured it out. It turns out that the reason why Wu Chao wanted to treat guests to dinner at the Shanglaxi Hotel in the evening was entirely to hold a birthday party for his goddess. Wu Chao's goddess is called Zhang Qingqing, and she seems to be the school beauty of Jiangbei Normal University. Li Hao and Chen Tao have only heard about Wu Chao, seen photos, and know that Wu Chao is chasing her, but they have never seen her. Then why are you calling us out now? Li Hao asked again. This guy not only has to give people birthday banquets, but also choose birthday gifts for them. Chen Tao immediately said again. Li Hao was speechless. Wu Chao seemed to really like him, and he was so devoted. Mouse, Brother Tao, what gift do you think I should choose? I'm going to confess my love to her tonight. Wu Chao asked Li Hao again. When the two heard Wu Chao's words, they were stunned again, then looked at each other and saw the speechlessness in each other's eyes. Brother Chao, are you guys boyfriend and girlfriend? Li Hao asked Wu Chao again. Although Qingqing hasn't promised me yet, I feel like it will be soon, maybe tonight. When Wu Chao heard Li Hao's question, his expression darkened, but he still said optimistically. Brother Chow, we know that you like her very much, but does she like you? Li Hao couldn't help but ask Wu Chao again. Although this was Wu Chao's own business, Li Hao didn't want his brother to fall into a trap or be deceived by others. I guess you like it? Wu Chao also said uncertainly. Seeing Wu Chao's appearance, Li Hao could already guess that the other party might not agree, but he didn't refuse either. Of course, this is just Li Hao's guess. It seems that everything can only be said when he sees me at night. By the way, Brother Chow, it's someone's birthday. Is it okay for Brother Chow and I to go there at night? Li Hao asked again. What's inappropriate? I'm treating you tonight, and if you go, it will be more lively. Ching Ching also wants to call her friends and besties to come. Wu Chao said directly. When it came to treating guests in the evening, he felt a little pained. Even the deposit was 10,000 yuan, and just for a meal in the evening, he had to stuff in all the New Year's money he had earned for more than 10 years. And this birthday gift can't be too cheap. All in all, Wu Chao risked his life for the goddess today. Then it's someone's birthday, should we still express our gratitude by giving him a birthday gift or something? Li Hao said again. The mouse is right, let's give him a gift to express his gratitude. Chen Tao also spoke and felt that Li Hao was right. After all, it would be better to give a gift to someone's birthday party. But what should I give as a gift? It's definitely not good if it's too expensive. Not to mention it will steal Brother Chow's limelight, and I don't have any money either. That's for sure. Li Hao also nodded. Well, you should help me choose first. Wu Chao said again. Giving it to a girl is nothing more than clothes, bags, watches, lipstick, etc. Of course, I think, Brother Chow, why don't you just give her a car, and maybe she will agree to you directly. Li Hao said with a smile. After hearing Li Hao's words, Wu Chao said with a dark look on his face, speechless. I want to, but I can't afford it. I don't even have a car yet. Buying a car is definitely out of the question, Wu Chao doesn't have the financial strength. In the end, the three of them walked around the ancient city and chose gifts. Wu Chao spent more than 10,000 yuan on an Armani bag. As for Li Hao and Chen Tao, they simply ordered an 18-inch cake together. Simple, straightforward, and cheap. Li Hao didn't care, because he wasn't familiar with her and the other party wasn't Wu Chao's girlfriend at the moment. It just meant something interesting. In addition, in Wu Chao's impression, the financial situation of Chen Tao and Li Hao was actually not that big. Great. After shopping, it was already past noon, and Wu Chao invited Li Hao and Chen Tao to dinner again. After finishing their meal, the three of them just walked out of the restaurant. However, his eyes were attracted by a car parked on the roadside at the door. That's a Maybach. The car is not the main thing. The main thing is that on the front of the Maybach, there is actually a beautiful woman half lying on it. There is another woman in front of her who is taking pictures of her with a mobile phone. The appearance of the two women is very good, about 90% on a 100% scale, and they are particularly tall. In addition, they wear skirts, revealing a pair of long white legs, full of youthful atmosphere. Damn, rat, Brother Chow, what a beauty. The eyes of the three people immediately fell on the two women, especially the woman who was half lying in the car. She had a strong figure, a delicate appearance, and was full of charming aura. Chen Tao couldn't help but say, I know this girl is an internet celebrity. She seems to be named Xiao Qian. I even followed her Douyin account. Wu Chao also said that this guy often uses Douyin to watch beautiful women on weekdays. This internet celebrity is indeed very beautiful. Although the woman who took the photo for her is also good looking, her figure and appearance are quite different. Not only did Li Hao and the other two cast their eyes on the woman, but many passers-by also looked at the internet celebrity with lustful eyes. However, at this moment, A dazzling red light suddenly lit up, and its light was even more dazzling than the sun in Li Hao's eyes. Haha, the exclamation mark appeared again. It was not on the two women, but on the head of a middle-aged man in a suit with a big belly not far ahead. The middle-aged man walked straight to the side of the Maybach, and then stared at the two women with a lewd smile on his lips. The man looked to be in his 40s or 50s, and looked like a pig brother. However, the exclamation mark on his head was so eye-catching that it almost blinded Li Hao's eyes. The prompt is here again. Li Hao was excited, not knowing what prompt the system would give. Click on this exclamation mark and you will get a special prompt. What are you waiting for? In Li Hao's mind, the voice of the system also sounded. Li Xiaoqian was sitting in the car, posing beautifully, ready to let her sister Sun Yani take a photo, but she saw a middle-aged greasy uncle actually came in front of her, drooling, and Li Xiaoqian frowned directly. Although the men around were also like this, they didn't get so close to the uncle, and the naked look was unconcealed, which was disgusting. Although she was an internet celebrity, she was also a pure student. But at this time, the uncle spoke. "Beauty, what are you doing sitting in my car? Why don't you get in the car? I'll take you to play together." "Ah, is this your car?" Li Xiaoqian and the others were stunned. The middle-aged man took out the car key and pressed it directly. The headlights of the Maybach in front of them flashed twice and made a sound. When the people around saw this scene, a strange color appeared on their faces. They didn't expect that this internet celebrity was lying on someone's car to take pictures and met the owner. Seeing this scene, Li Xiaoqian showed a touch of embarrassment and quickly jumped out of the car. Sorry, uncle, we still have to go back to school," Li Xiaoqian said apologetically, refusing the invitation of the middle-aged man, and then pulled Sun Yani to leave. Seeing this scene, the middle-aged man's face became a little gloomy. His name is Zhou Taizhong, he is the boss of a large company, with assets of hundreds of millions, and he has seen countless women, but it is rare for him to see such a beautiful and tender female student. How could he let her go? "Wait!" Zhou Taizhong shouted coldly. "You've damaged my car, and you're going to leave like this. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 13. What? At this moment, Li Xiaoqian's face suddenly changed. Don't admit it? Look here. It's obvious that she just sat on it and scratched it. Now tell me what to do. I just bought this car less than a month ago, and it costs more than 1 million yuan. Zhou Taizhong pointed to a place on the car body, where there was a very small scratch. It was not very visible at first glance, but it was indeed a scratch. In fact, this scratch had been there 2 or 3 days ago. He was careless, but it just came in handy now. How is it possible? This is impossible. It's definitely not me who scratched it. I just sat on it for a while. Li Xiaoqian's face was a little pale, and she said hurriedly. Hey, it's the one you just sat on. Don't deny it, pay me. I don't want too much, just 50,000 yuan. Of course, if you can accompany me to play tonight, forget about this matter. Zhou Taizhong said again, his intention was obvious. This is clearly a false accusation against our Qian. Let's go. Sun Yani, who was standing next to her, was so angry that her chest kept rising and falling. She pulled Li Xiaoqian and wanted to leave here. You are not allowed to leave. You want to run away after you damaged my car? Call the police. I want to call the police. Everyone come and see, they damaged my car but didn't admit it, and they still want to run. Zhou Taizhong directly blocked the two women and said loudly. This is a busy area with people coming and going. Soon, a large group of people gathered around, looking like they were watching a good show. What? Damaged someone's car? I saw them taking pictures on this car before, and I thought it was their car. Haha. These little girls, wearing so little, take pictures everywhere, internet celebrities, now it's good, they damaged someone's car but still don't admit it. Dot. The onlookers kept talking. Hearing these voices, Li Xiaoqian felt very aggrieved, her eyes were red, and she wanted to cry. She was not sure if she had done the damage, but she certainly could not afford to pay for it. She was a student, and although she was an internet celebrity, she had just started, and her fans were less than 100,000, and her income was not high. Moreover, this uncle clearly looked like he was plotting against her, and she couldn't send herself into the fire pit. For a moment, Li Xiaoqian was a little panicked and didn't know what to do. Your car was not damaged by the two of them. But at this moment, a voice came from the side, and the voice was full of certainty, and it was very loud. When everyone heard the voice, they saw a young man and were surprised. Wu Chao and Chen Tao were also startled. They were watching the show with great enthusiasm, but they didn't expect Li Hao to speak directly. Did he speak for this internet celebrity beauty? Could it be that he fell in love with this beauty? But this middle-aged fat man is not easy to deal with. Hussy, you. Dot. Who are you? Is she her boyfriend? Zhou Taizhong looked unhappy, looked at Li Hao, and asked in a deep voice. No, but I'm sure that your car wasn't scratched by them. Li Hao shook his head directly and said lightly. Just at that moment, Li Hao had already clicked on the exclamation mark above Zhou Taishan's head. Li Hao scanned the code and paid 200 yuan, and then got some prompt information. Ding dong, this person's name is Zhou Taizhong, General Manager of Qingshan Investment Company, home address, number 32 Furong Road, Jiangbei City. The scratches on the car were caused by him at the door the day before yesterday, and the incident surveillance has been sent to the host's mobile phone. Please click downward arrow to get more hidden prompt information. When the system's prompt information came out, Li Hao was also shocked. He didn't expect that the middle-aged man in front of him had a big background. Li Hao had heard of Qingshan Investment Company, which is a powerful investment company in Jiangbei, and it seems to be backed by Shanshui Group. Shanshui Group is the leading large group in Dawei, involving a wide range of industries, such as real estate, tourism, and medical care. It has numerous holding subsidiaries, and the number of investment projects is even more numerous. Its strength and assets are immeasurable. And Zhou Taizhong, who is in front of him, can be the CEO of a subsidiary, which is also very unusual. Li Hao immediately clicked the downward arrow again, wanting to see more hidden prompts. Suddenly, a QR code for payment appeared on the system interface in front of him. Want money again? The system is so pitfall. Li Hao still scanned the QR code and paid 400 yuan. Ding dong, Zhou Taizhong, age 45, pig, dark and narrow forehead, deep palace of husband and wife, prone to peach blossom, a grassland on his head. His wife is doing unspeakable things at home. If you go home now, you will bump into her. The man will hide in the closet, claiming to be repairing water pipes. The prompt message appeared again. Seeing this prompt, Li Hao took a breath of cold air. Damn, the system is so awesome. Can it also tell fortunes? It can even tell this? Unspeakable things. Li Hao suspected that the system was a bit unserious. When Li Hao read Zhou Taishan's fortune again, a smile appeared on his face, as if he saw a green grassland above this guy's head. Li Xiaoqian didn't expect that at this moment, a boy actually stood up to speak for her, and she couldn't help but feel touched. Since you are not their boyfriend, don't meddle in other people's business. Do you know who I am? Zhou Taizhong said coldly to Li Hao again. Haha. Li Hao smiled and said lightly. Are you Zhou Taizhong, the boss of Qingshan? The scratches on your car were clearly made at the door of your own house. Just now, my friend has sent me the surveillance video. Do you want to take a look? Huh? How do you know? Joe Taishan's eyes widened and he pointed at Li Hadao in disbelief. As soon as he said this, the people around him also heard it, and they suddenly became enlightened. What? Did he really do it himself? So it turns out that someone was framed. I'll go, damn it, this is obviously because someone else's little girl is pretty. Li Xiaoqian and Sun Yani also became excited. Let me just say, he obviously did this himself. It doesn't make sense. Just because you look good and have money, you can accuse people falsely, right? When Zhou Taizheng saw that he had been exposed, his expression suddenly turned ugly, and he immediately argued again. That misunderstanding, it was a misunderstanding just now, I'm sorry, beauty. Immediately, he looked at Li Hao, gritted his teeth, took 2 steps closer to Li Hao, and spoke in a voice that could only be heard by the two of them. Boy, you'd better be careful if you ruin my good deeds. This is the threat of Chi Kuakuo. However, Li Hao didn't take it seriously, and even laughed and said lightly. My own backyard is on fire, and you still want to hook up with beautiful women here, haha. It really makes me laugh to death. Zhou Taizheng? What do you mean? Hurry up and go home and take a look. Your wife is looking for a man behind your back, you are still here hooking up with beautiful women. Haha, you two are really a match made in heaven. This time Li Hao spoke very directly. What? My wife is looking for a man? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Who the hell are you? How do you know? Zhou Taizheng didn't believe it, but his heart skipped a beat, and he had a bad premonition. It's impossible to just go back and take a look. Your wife will definitely not answer the call now. Seeing Zhou Taizheng take out his mobile phone, Li Hao reminded him. However, Zhou Taizheng still called his wife. The bell rang. But no one answered. Damn it! Zhou Taizheng suddenly lost his composure. I called several times in succession, but still no one answered. Later, I was prompted to turn off the phone. Could it be that the guy in front of me really convinced him? For a moment, Zhou Taizheng panicked. Zhou Taizheng quickly opened the car door and prepared to go home and take a look. At this time, Li Hao's voice came again. Go back and look in the closet in the room first. That person will definitely say he is a water pipe repairer, haha. Don't thank me, my name is Lei Feng. Zhou Taishan's face turned dark in the car, and then he drove away without saying a word. Li Hao watched the Maybach go away, then looked away, and couldn't help but secretly say something. This car is so beautiful, even the wheels slide. Thinking about the money in my card, it seems that it is not enough. I can't buy it, so I can only ask the system to give more reminders or something. Ding dong, the host is happy to help others. Congratulations to the host for getting an Aston Martin V8 Vantage. But at this moment, the system prompt sounded again. Damn it! Are there any rewards? Direct reward for an Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Li Hao knew that this car cost at least 2 million. Just now I was thinking about buying a car, but this car system was delivered directly to me. It's so cool. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 14. But what about the car? Ding dong, the reward will be delivered to the host's location within 4 hours. Li Hajeng was confused when the system prompt sounded again. This car is still on the road. However, Li Hao was not in a hurry. In short, it's your own that can't escape. At this time, Li Qianqian and Sun Yani also walked up to Li Hao and said to Li Hao with grateful faces. Handsome guy, thank you. Yeah, how about we treat you to some milk tea? Li Hao replied with a smile. Haha, no need. Mouse, you are so awesome. How did you know that this guy's wife is cheating on you at home? Yes, Mouse, you are really amazing. This guy seems to believe it. You must be talking nonsense, right? On the side, Wu Chao and Chen Tao could not restrain their inner excitement and asked Li Hao. Well, it's nonsense. I didn't expect this guy to actually believe it. Li Hao said directly, naturally it is impossible to say that he was cheated, he could see the prompt, and they would not believe it even if he said it. By the way, handsome guy, what's your name? Are you also a college student? Which university are you from? Why don't you add us on WeChat? At this time, Li Xiaoqian suddenly said to Li Hao again. After hearing the words of this internet celebrity beauty, Wu Chao, Chen Tao, and others next to them all had a strange look on their faces, and they winked at Li Hao. My name is Li Hao, from Jiangbei University. They are my roommates. Li Hao said directly, clicked on WeChat, and then clicked on his personal QR code. Naturally, he couldn't refuse such a thing as a beautiful woman adding WeChat. My name is Li Xiaoqian, we are in the normal school. If you have time, come and play in our normal school. Li Xiaoqian said to Li Hao enthusiastically, and they seemed to have gotten to know each other. When Li Xiaoqian and Sun Yani left. Damn it, rat, add WeChat, this is such an opportunity, you must seize it. That's right, Mouse, I'm afraid this beauty has fallen in love with you. Let's talk more, and make an appointment to have dinner and drink some other time to talk about life or something. Wu Chao and Chen Tao grinned at Li Hao and said. Next, the three of them went to pick up the cake, and then took a taxi directly to Shanglaxi Hotel. At the same time. In terms of time, it's almost time for the dinner. Shanglaxi Hotel, as one of the most famous hotels in Jiangbei, is located in the most prosperous area next to Xiangjiang River in Jiangbei. When Li Hao and the others got out of the car, they saw luxury cars parked one after another in the hotel's parking spaces, which was dazzling. And you can also see some very gorgeously dressed women getting off these cars, and you can also see some men with good temperament wearing famous brands coming in and out of the hotel. Damn it, Bentley Continental, Rolls-Royce Phantom, Lamborghini, Maybach, they are all luxury cars, they are all so rich. Chen Tao was amazed when he saw these luxury cars. Come on, study hard, and make progress every day, brother Tao, believe in yourself, you can also drive these cars. Li Hao said jokingly from the side. The first time the three of them got off the car, no service boy came over. There are also several hotel service guys at the door. Some are parking, some are picking up guests. Of course, most of them are receiving those who get off the luxury cars. Some of them saw Li Hao and the others immediately. A strange color flashed in his eyes, but he didn't come over immediately. But at this moment, there should be a service boy. After hesitating for a moment, he came towards Li Hao and the other two people. This service boy was wearing a suit and tie, with polished nails and extremely clean appearance. Hello, gentlemen, do you have an appointment? This service boy wears a work badge on his chest, has a work number, and the name of the service boy is Zhang Daxing. Seeing this scene in Li Hao's eyes, there was a strange color in his heart. It seems that rich people are given preferential treatment wherever they go. Even these service guys pick up customers selectively. Yes, I reserved a private room. Wu Chao said directly. Okay sir, please tell me your name and phone number. Zhang Daxing asked again. Wu Chao, the phone number is 13,550. Okay, sir, you have booked Tianyan Pavilion, please come with me. Soon, Zhang Daxing confirmed the private room booked by Wu Chao, and then led Wu Chao and three others to the private room. Just when Li Hao and the other two arrived at the hotel, a private plane from the United States landed at Jiangbei Airport. On the private plane, a thin middle-aged man with long flowing hair and an extraordinary temperament said, "Is this Jiangbei in China?" The second largest shareholder of our group is in this place. This middle-aged man is surprisingly Yasuo, the global human resources president of Yuhao Group. He was specially sent by the board of directors of Yuhao Group to meet with the second largest shareholder of Yuhao Group. Next to Yasuo, there were 8 or 9 men in suits, 2 of whom were his assistants and executives of Yuhao Group. As for the rest, they were personal bodyguards, each of whom was a tall man. They are both tall, muscular, and retired members of the Navy SEALs. Did you find out? Where is our second shareholder now? Yasuo said to an assistant beside him. The assistant's hand tapped quickly on a laptop a few times and replied immediately. What a coincidence, Mr. Lee is now at the Shangri-La Hotel. This hotel seems to be part of our group. Let's go straight there. Yasuo said again, and then got on one of the many black Mercedes-Benz cars, and his assistants and bodyguards also got on the car directly. The group of people went to the Shangri-La Hotel in a mighty manner. Shangri-La Hotel, Tianyang Pavilion. This private room is also decorated very luxuriously, with a round table that can seat 18 people in the middle, and 2 dedicated waiters on standby at any time. Li Hao and the other 2 were the first to arrive. After Wu Chao took a look, he went to the hotel entrance to wait for his goddess. Time passed, and after waiting for half an hour, Li Hao and Chen Tao saw Wu Chao leading several girls into the private room. The head of the group was a woman with a delicate face, wearing a pink skirt, long hair draped over her shoulders, and her figure was undoubtedly very good. Beside the woman, there were several other women, all of whom were very pretty. Hazi, brother Tao, come here, let me introduce you, this is Ye Ching Ching I told you about, today's birthday boy. Wu Chao immediately introduced Li Hao and the other 2, and then looked at Ye Ching Ching. Ching Ching, they are both my good brothers, Li Hao and Chen Tao, they are here with me to celebrate your birthday today, you don't mind, right? God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 15. No, of course not, Brother Chao, we have to thank you for organizing such a good birthday party for Ching Ching. Before Ye Ching Ching could speak, another woman next to her spoke first. The woman's name was Zhang Wen, and she was Ye Qingqing's roommate. Wen Wen is right, I have to thank you. By the way, Wu Chao, I have friends coming later, is that okay? Ye Ching Ching also said with a smile, and her smile was so beautiful that Wu Chao almost lost his mind. Haha, Ching Ching, of course it's okay, your friends are my friends, the more people there are, the more lively it is. Hearing Ye Qingqing's words, Wu Chao smiled again. Li Hao looked at this scene, but frowned slightly. The other party had already come with 7 or 8 people, and there were still friends. Did they regard Wu Chao as the boss? When the roommates and girlfriends next to Ye Ching Ching heard Wu Chao's words, a strange color flashed in their eyes, as if they looked at each other. But at this moment, Ye Qingqing's cell phone rang. Hello. Yes, in Tianyang Pavilion, come in. Ye Ching Ching answered the phone and said directly. 2 minutes later, several men appeared at the door of the private room. They were handsome, wearing branded clothes and dressed very fashionably. Ching Ching, happy birthday. There were 5 people in total. They all looked very young. They were obviously college students. The leader had already appeared. His eyes fell on Ye Ching Ching and he said directly to Ye Ching Ching. Goddess Ching Ching, happy birthday. Happy birthday. The people next to the young man also said it out loud. Seeing the appearance of these boys, Wu Chao was stunned and his face became a little ugly. He didn't expect that Ye Qingqing's friends who were coming just now were actually a few boys. Ching Ching, this is... Wu Chao couldn't help asking Ye Ching Ching. Wu Chao, they are all my friends. This is Song Zihao. They are all Zihao's roommates. Ye Ching Ching was startled, and a bright smile appeared on her face. But when Ye Qingqing called Song Zihao, Wu Chao's mind trembled violently. Hello. Song Zihao also looked at Wu Chao, with a faint smile on his face, but there was a gleam in his eyes. Sit down. Wu Chao said again, and then looked at Ye Qingqing. Qingqing, are you all here? Ye Qingqing nodded. Yeah. Waiter, serve the dishes. Soon, a rich dish was served, with all kinds of delicacies from the mountains and the sea. It was worth it that Wu Chao spent tens of thousands of yuan to order it. Everyone started eating directly. During the period, Song Zihao also ordered a few bottles of wine, which was not polite at all. Qingqing, today is your birthday, let's have a drink to cheer you up, right? We boys drink beer, how about you guys drink red wine? Song Zihao said to Ye Qingqing again. But I don't drink. Ye Qingqing wanted to refuse. But Song Zihao's roommate said again. Ye Qingqing, just drink a little red wine, you won't get drunk. Yes, Ye Qingqing, today is my special day, let's drink some red wine. Qingqing, why don't you drink a little, today is your birthday? When Ye Qingqing's bestie Zhang Wen also said so, Ye Qingqing finally didn't refuse anymore. Okay, just drink a little. Song Zihao saw Ye Qingqing nod, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth again. This wine is a good thing, once you start drinking, you can't stop. If you drink a little more, the opportunity will come. Come on, Qingqing, happy birthday, I'll toast you a glass, I'll drink it straight away, you can do whatever you want. Song Zihao directly picked up the wine glass and said to Ye Qingqing, and then drank it in one gulp. Ye Qingqing could only pick up the wine glass and start drinking. After Song Zihao toasted Ye Qingqing, he also toasted to Ye Qingqing's girlfriends and roommates, and later, he even toasted to Li Hao and the other two. Wu Chao's face had become extremely ugly. He paid for the meal and invited them, but he basically had no sense of existence. This Song Zihao in front of him was like he was treating them. The guest turned the host. All this was seen by Li Hao and the other two, and anyone with a discerning eye could see that Song Zihao was interested in Ye Qingqing. The fact was indeed correct. This Song Zihao was Ye Qingqing's pursuer, and Zhang Wen and others knew it, and Ye Qingqing herself knew it, but Ye Qingqing had not agreed yet. But even at this moment, Wu Chao was still hesitating. Brother Chao, don't be timid, go ahead. If you don't step up, this guy will steal the spotlight, and the goddess will be snatched away. Finally, Chen Tao next to him couldn't stand it anymore and whispered to Wu Chao. Who? Wu Chao took a deep breath, mustered up his courage, and prepared to confess. He really liked Ye Qingqing. Even though he could see that Song Zihao also liked Ye Qingqing, he still wanted to give it a try. Wu Chao stood up and raised his glass. Qingqing, I toast you too. Wu Chao said to Ye Qingqing. Thank you. Ye Qingqing was startled, but she also raised her glass and took a sip. At this time, Wu Chao took out a carefully decorated box directly from under the seat. Qingqing, this is my birthday gift to you, happy birthday. Wu Chao directly handed the box in his hand to Ye Qingqing. Wow Qingqing, it's a birthday gift, open it quickly and take a look. It seems very valuable. Zhang Wen and others next to him also started to make noises. Ye Qingqing took the box and opened it under everyone's gaze. An Armani bag suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Wow, Armani's latest bag. Such an expensive birthday gift, oh my, I'm so jealous. Ye Qingqing's roommates and best friends were all excited when they saw it was Armani's bag, and their eyes looking at Ye Qingqing were full of envy. This bag costs tens of thousands at least. I have to say that Wu Chao is really good to Ye Qingqing. As for Song Zihao and the others, looking at the gifts from Wu Chao, a flash of disdain flashed across their faces. Thank you. When Ye Ching Ching saw the bag, his eyes lit up, and a smile appeared on his pretty face, but it only turned into a simple thank you. Ching Ching, we also have gifts. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. At this time, Jiang Wen and others also took out the gifts they had prepared for Ye Ching Ching. Some bought clothes, some bought cosmetics, and even her best friend gave Ye Ching Ching a bra. Ye King King's pretty face turned red with embarrassment. After a while, a cake was also pushed up. Ching Ching, happy birthday, this is the cake my brother ordered for you. Wow, there's cake. Quick, put on your hat. Make a wish and blow out the candles. Happy birthday. Dot. For a time, the atmosphere in the private room was extremely good. Just after Ye Ching Ching finished blowing out the candles, Wu Chao came straight to Ye Ching Ching. Wu Chao was seen looking at Ye Ching Ching seriously. Ching Ching, I like you, please be my girlfriend. Wu Chao said affectionately, confessing his love at this moment. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 16. Ching Ching, I like you, please be my girlfriend. Wu Chao actually said to Ye Ching Ching affectionately at this moment and expressed his love to Ye Ching Ching. Ye Ching Ching was stunned. She didn't expect that Wu Chao would confess his love to her directly. There was no surprise or shyness on her face, but she was just a little embarrassed, and her expression became a little unnatural. Wu Chao, what are you talking about? Don't do this. But it wouldn't be good to refuse directly. After all, they were throwing a birthday party for me, and they just gave me an Armani bag. But if she agreed, Ye Ching Ching had never thought that in her eyes, Wu Chao was not a good boyfriend choice from beginning to end, but just a spare tire. She is a very realistic girl. Her boyfriend, Ye Ching Ching, firstly, has to be rich, secondly, he has to have a lot of money, and thirdly, he has to have money that she can't spend all of his money. Ching Ching, I'm serious, I really like you, can you be my girlfriend? Wu Chao said seriously again. I'm sorry, Wu Chao, I don't want to fall in love in college. Ye Ching Ching looked at Wu Chao and said apologetically. There was no doubt that he refused, but it was Ye King King's reason for not wanting to fall in love. Hearing Ye King King's words, Wu Chao's face suddenly became gloomy. But at this moment, Ching Ching, today is your birthday, and I also have a birthday gift for you. Song Zihao stood up and said to Ye Ching Ching with a smile. Everyone's eyes fell on Song Zihao. Wow, brother Hao, I've finally waited for you. What kind of birthday gift is it? It won't be a red envelope, right? Brother Hao's birthday gift must be extraordinary. Take it out and have a look. Dot. Jiang Wen and the other girls made excited noises again, licking crazily. Of course, how can our brother Hao's gift to the goddess be so simple? One of Song Zihao's roommates also said with a smile at this time, the atmosphere should be full and the pretense should be graceful. At this moment, everyone was curious about what Song Zihao wanted to give Ye Ching Ching as a birthday gift, and even Ye King King's beautiful eyes were full of anticipation. The next moment, I saw Song Zihao slowly taking out a car key from his bag. On the car key is a BMW logo. Wow, car keys. BMW. Brother Hao, are you actually going to give a BMW to Ching Ching? Dot. Jiang Wen and the other girls were stunned and even more shocked when they saw the car key. Even Ye King King's eyes flashed with excitement at this moment, and he could no longer suppress the excitement in his heart. That's right, Ching Ching, a BMW Z4 is given to you as a birthday gift. Happy birthday. Will you be my girlfriend? Song Zihao's face was full of pride. Looking at the envious looks in the eyes of these girls, Song Zihao felt that his heart was greatly satisfied. Song Zihao nodded, looked at Ye Qingqing affectionately, and said seriously. It's really a car delivery. A BMW Z4 was directly used as a birthday gift. What is how? This is the trench. Compared with Song Zihao's birthday gift, Wu Chao's Armani bag was nothing. Everyone was shocked, especially Ye Qingqing's best friends, whose eyes were full of envy at this moment. As for Ye Qingqing, she couldn't restrain her excitement, her pretty face turned a little red, and it was a little unimaginable. However, when Song Zihao gave him a birthday gift, he also confessed his love to Ye Qingqing. His intention was self-evident and very obvious. Wu Chao's face turned dark when he saw this scene, which was very ugly. Isn't this a slap in the face? He gave him an Armani bag to express his love, but he was given a BMW directly. Qingqing should also refuse, right? She just said she didn't want to fall in love. Wu Chao looked at Ye Qingqing again, but saw the excitement in his eyes, and his heart couldn't help but thump again. Really? Did you really give me a car? Ye Qingqing covered her pretty mouth with both hands and said in disbelief. Of course it's true. This car is parked outside the hotel now. As long as you promise me, Qingqing, to be my girlfriend, this car will be yours. Song Zihao smiled again and said, as long as Ye Qingqing nods, a BMW Z4 is nothing. After sleeping with the goddess, everyone is his own, and the car is also his own. Hearing Song Zihao's words, Ye Qingqing hesitated for a moment. The next moment, Ye Qingqing nodded heavily. Well, Zihao, I am willing to be your girlfriend. Ye Qingqing said shyly. Agree? Yes, Ye Qingqing agreed. Wu Chao looked at the scene and felt bad after hearing Ye Qingqing's words. Didn't you agree that you don't want to fall in love? Damn it! Even Li Hao and Chen Tao had their eyes widened and couldn't help but burst out. I just rejected my brother's confession, saying that I didn't want to fall in love, and now I turned around and agreed to another person's confession just because of a car. Want tea? Green tea. Haha, great, Qingqing, don't worry, I will treat you well. Song Zihao laughed loudly. Brother Hao, congratulations, today is really a double happiness. Good things come in pairs. Brother Hao, you and Goddess Qingqing are a match made in heaven. Brother Hao is awesome. The surroundings were full of compliments from Song Zihao's brothers and Zhang Wen and other women. Li Hao and the three of them seemed extremely out of place in this private room. Wu Chao looked at Song Zihao fiercely, his eyes filled with anger, and snatched his goddess away. Song Zihao looked at Wu Chao without any timidity, with a touch of disdain on his lips, full of ridicule and provocation. Bang! Wu Chao stood up immediately. Everyone was shocked. Wu Chao was very angry. He clenched his fists tightly with both hands. Looking at Song Zihao, he felt an urge to take action. Besides Song Zihao, the roommates and brothers also stood up immediately and looked ready to take action. If Wu Chao dared to take action, they would definitely let this guy have a taste of being beaten. At this moment, the situation was tense. However, the next moment, I need to go to the toilet. Wu Chao said slowly, he was timid but could bear it. He was angry, but there were many people on the other side. Even if he didn't give up, the two brothers beside him would probably suffer. Wu Chao walked out of the private room directly. Li Hao and Chen Tao looked at each other, stood up slowly, and walked towards the toilet. Ha ha, coward! Seeing the three people leaving, Song Zihao said lightly, with even more disdain in his eyes, and the private room suddenly became boiling again. Outside the toilet, Wu Chaozheng's eyes were red and he was glaring at himself in the mirror, as if looking at an enemy, furious. Brother Chao, are you okay? Li Hao and Chen Tao walked up and expressed concern. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 17. Wu Chao was staring at himself in the mirror, his eyes filled with anger and a hint of unwillingness. Not to mention the money he spent, but he made a dowry for others. Is this what happens when you lick a dog? Licking until the end, there is nothing left. And that Ye Ching Ching, Wu Chao now understands that he is a bitch. Brother Chao, are you okay? Next to him, the voice of a good brother came. Wu Chao pretended to be calm, looked at the two brothers and said slowly. I'm fine. Damn it, brother Chao, if you ask me, Ye Ching Ching is such a green tea bitch. Chen Tao couldn't help but said, already swearing. Yes, brother Chao, such a woman is not worth it. She would marry someone else just for a car, but she doesn't know what she missed. And this Ye Ching Ching actually looks like that. The beautiful girl is now grab a lot of them, as long as you have money, what kind of woman can't be found? Li Hao also said from the side. He wanted to say that what she missed was his good brother Li Hao. Brother Chao, what the mouse said is right. When we become rich someday, what kind of girlfriend will we not find? By then, this Ye Ching Ching is nothing, let her regret it. Chen Tao said again, agreeing very much with what Li Hao said. The next moment, Chen Tao made a surprised sound and suddenly said again. Huh? Beautiful women are everywhere. Look, there is one, damn, she's so beautiful. Chen Tao's eyes looked towards the corridor behind Li Hao again, his eyes were so bright that he almost cried out. Wu Chao and Li Hao were startled when they saw Chen Tao's appearance, and immediately followed Chen Tao's gaze. The next moment. Holy shit! Wu Chao also cursed directly, his eyes were straightened, and he could no longer look away. She is a goddess, who is Ye Ching Ching. As for Li Hao, he was stunned and opened his mouth. It's her? In the corridor, a breathtakingly beautiful woman was walking towards the toilet. She has a delicate face, skin as white as snow, and a tall figure. She has a pair of long, round, and straight legs under her skirt. She especially has a strong aura about her body. Noble, cool, and dusty. A perfect goddess of temperament. Compared with Ye Ching Ching from before, the woman in front of him was way ahead of her. Qin Yaking had just come out of the private room. The atmosphere inside made her a little uncomfortable and depressed. Today, she promised her parents to come here for dinner. At the banquet are her father's friends and their family. They have an extraordinary status. They are the bosses of Rongchuang Investment Group, a large group. They are worth tens of billions. They are real boss-level figures. Even his family's business is lagging behind compared to the other company. Just now, there was a private room next to Li Hao's private room. Qin Yaking sat inside. Also present were Qin Yaking's parents, Qin Lai and his wife, as well as the CEO of Rongchuang Group, Zhang Honglei and his wife, and their son, Zhang Xiaotian. Screen reproduction. Mr. Qin, I've almost finished drinking this wine, let's get down to business. Rongchuang CEO Zhang Honglei said with a smile. You also know that this boy of mine has been thinking about Yaking's niece since I last saw him. It's no wonder, niece Yaking is really as beautiful as a hibiscus. It's normal for this guy to like niece Yaking, isn't that right? He is clamoring to have a meal with niece Yaking. Well, I am a good-looking guy, not ugly, and our family also has a little money. She should be worthy enough to be Yaking's niece. Zhang Honglei said a lot, and then glared at Zhang Xiaotian next to him. The human-looking Zhang Xiaotian, who was wearing a white suit next to him, stood up immediately and said earnestly to Qin Yaking, who had a stern look on his face. Yaking, I like you, can you let me be your boyfriend? Confess. Qin Yaking's face was expressionless. She had expected this, but she was not very interested in the guy in front of her. Qin Yaking didn't say anything, she still looked like she was keeping away from strangers, very aloof. Seeing this scene, Zhang Xiaotian was helpless and could only say to Qin Lai again. Uncle Qin, I really like Yaking, let me be Yaking's boyfriend, right? I will definitely protect her and love her. Qin Lai originally thought that his daughter could still try to talk about being friends with the other party, but he still underestimated his daughter's cold and arrogant temperament. Qin Yaking stared directly at his father. For a moment, Qin Lai changed his mind. Well, nephew Xiaotian, opportunities are not given by others, they are all earned by oneself. Immediately afterwards, Qin Lai said to Zhang Honglei again. Mr. Zhang, let them make their own decisions regarding this young man's affairs. Then, he looked at Yaking again and asked weakly. Yaking, what do you think? When Qin Yaking saw her father, she asked herself again. Qin Yaking, who was originally planning to remain silent, spoke in order to avoid trouble later. I can't be your girlfriend. Qin Yaking said to Zhang Xiaotian very firmly. Why? Zhang Xiaotian asked immediately. Because, I already have a boyfriend. As soon as Qin Yaking said these words, everyone was shocked. Isn't this possible? Zhang Xiaoshan's eyes widened. He had paid someone to investigate. Qin Yaking was definitely still single. She even lived alone. How could she have a boyfriend? Yaking, what did you say? Beside him, Qin Lai and his wife were also shocked when they heard what their daughter said. Qin Lai stood up and said in disbelief. Her daughter actually said that she already had a boyfriend. How could this be possible? I'm telling the truth. Whether you believe it or not, I'm sorry, Uncle Zhang. After Qin Yaking finished speaking, she stood up and left the private room. So, there was the scene now. Qin Yaking really didn't want to stay in the private room. She wanted to go to the bathroom to calm down. Saying that she had a boyfriend was just a stopgap measure. She really didn't want the other party to continue to pester her. As for her parents, she would explain it after she calmed down. This was the only way. However, when Qin Yaking just walked to the door of the toilet, she saw 3 young men standing at the door of the toilet, staring at her. But the next moment, Qin Yaking widened her beautiful eyes and her eyes fell on one of the young men. Why are you here? Isn't this guy the one who lives next door to him? He sent him out this morning. Why are you here? Li Hao also said to Qin Yaking. The two spoke almost at the same time, which was a coincidence. Wu Chao and Chen Tao, who were standing next to them, were stunned for a moment, their eyes dropped to the ground, and their hearts were crazy. Shit. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 18. I'm eating here. I'm eating here. Li Hao and Qin Yaking spoke in unison again, showing a good understanding of each other. Wu Chao and Chen Tao next to him were both dumbfounded. Damn it, the mouse actually knows this goddess, and seems to be very familiar with her. Li Hao looked at Qin Yaking, and Qin Yaking also looked at Li Hao, and they both laughed. This is fate. The next moment, something suddenly occurred to Qin Yaking's mind. Her beautiful eyes flashed, and a hint of cunning appeared on her pretty face. What a coincidence. We met just right. Lend me your body for a while. Qin Yaking immediately said to Li Hao. When Li Hao heard Qin Yaking's words, he was stunned and his eyes widened. What? Lend me my body? What is going on? Without waiting for Li Hao's reaction, Qin Yaking didn't even go to the toilet. She took Li Hao's arm and walked back to where she came from. Holy shit, what's going on? Borrowing a rat's body? You're not renting a room, are you? Damn it, mouse actually hooked up with a goddess behind our backs. This must have been hidden too deep. Oh my god, what kind of shitty luck did this mouse have? Wu Chao and Chen Tao looked at Li Hao being pulled away by the goddess, and looked at each other in disbelief. Their eyes were full of disbelief, and they also had incomparable envy, jealousy, and hatred, which subverted their cognition. Master, it turns out that the mouse is the master. This humming goddess is 100 times more beautiful than Ye Ching Ching. Li Hao was pulled by Qin Yaking, full of doubts, but there was a soft feeling on his arm, which immediately made Li Hao confused. Well, this is coming too soon. Li Hao asked weakly. He was not ready yet, it was a bit too sudden, although Li Hao actually still had some expectations in his heart. What are you thinking about? When Qin Yaking heard Li Hao's words, she couldn't help but roll her eyes at Li Hao, and then said to Li Hao again. I want you to do me a favor. When you enter the private room later, you can tell me that you are my boyfriend. Li Hao? Boyfriend? Li Hao was still a little confused. What? You don't want to? As long as you pretend to be my boyfriend, forget about you breaking into my room yesterday. Qin Yaking thought that Li Hao was unwilling, so she immediately said again. Li Hao was speechless. The girl still remembered what happened yesterday. Okay. Li Hao finally understood and probably guessed what the girl wanted to do. It's nothing more than being a shield boyfriend. The fact was indeed as Li Hao expected. Just when Li Hao was pulled by Qin Yaking to the private room. In the general manager's office of Shanglaxi Hotel. A Mediterranean man with a big belly in a suit suddenly jumped up from his seat after answering a phone call. What? President Yasuo from the group headquarters came to Jiangbei? He is coming to me, I'm going. Because of the news on the phone, Wu Guanghui suddenly felt a turmoil in his heart. The big boss from the headquarters of Yuhao Group actually came to Jiangbei. Isn't this no less than a private visit by the Emperor Incognito? What happened? Wu Guanghui was horrified. You must know that Shanglaxi Hotel is just one of the thousands of hotels under the Yuhao Group, and Wu Guanghui is just a hotel manager. Why? A boss of this level is here? Wu Guanghui didn't even have time to think too much and reacted quickly. First of all, Wu Guanghui issued the order in the hotel's management group. Urgent notice, Mr. Yasuo, the Global Human Resources President, will come to my hotel for inspection soon. You all should do the job at hand for me and be ready. Whoever is in trouble should just get out. Several messages were sent out in succession. Ever since. Hotel Customer Service Group, Kitchen Group, Cleaning Group, and a series of related work groups. It exploded instantly. All the employees in the hotel knew the shocking news, and everyone started to move. After giving these instructions, Wu Guanghui tidied up his clothes, combed the few remaining hair, and then hurriedly walked out of the office and headed to the hotel entrance. He had to go and receive the reception in person. It would be impossible not to receive the reception, and all the staff had to work together to do the reception well. This is the big boss of the group headquarters. If he fails to receive the reception well, he will make the other party unhappy. Let alone the manager of a hotel, even if he is the president of the Greater China region or the Asia-Pacific region, then he will not be happy. Gotta get out. The Global Human Resources President has this right. When Wu Guanghui went out, the customer service manager, lobby manager, and others were already standing at the door, a total of more than 10 people. The words on the huge LED screen at the hotel entrance have also changed. In a word, warmly welcome Mr. Yasuo, President of Global Human Resources of Yuhao Group. Damn it, even Mr. Wu from the Shanglaxi Hotel came out. What a huge battle. Is this the boss coming again? Didn't you see the words on the screen? The Global Human Resources President of Yuhao Group, he is a real boss. Some guests entering and leaving the hotel at the door also saw the scene and were shocked by it. Many people even stopped and wanted to see what kind of big boss was coming. Soon. Several black Mercedes-Benz cars appeared in everyone's sight. Before the car stopped, Wu Guanghui had already greeted it. From one of the cars, a thin middle-aged foreign man with an extremely good temperament got out. It was Yasuo who came here from the Yuhao Group in the United States. Welcome Mr. President to the Shangri-La Hotel. Wu Guanghui and many hotel staff behind him spoke out at this moment and saluted respectfully. Yasuo glanced at Wu Guanghui, nodded, smiled kindly, waved to Wu Guanghui, and spoke in American, with an assistant translating beside him. I came here this time on behalf of all the directors of the group headquarters to visit Mr. Li Hao, the second largest shareholder of our Yuhao Group. Yasuo said slowly. But Wu Guanghui and others were even more shocked when they heard the news. Visit the second largest shareholder Mr. Li Hao? Mr. Li Hao is in Jiangbei? The next moment, Yasuo's words shocked them beyond words. According to the information I have found, Mr. Li Hao is currently dining in our hotel. He is the real boss. On the other side, Li Hao was brought to the private room where Qin Yaking had just dined. He did not know that the boss of the headquarters of Yuhao Group had come to the door for him. When Qin Yaking appeared with Li Hao. Yaking, he is. Yaking, this is. In the private room, Qin Lai and his wife saw Qin Yaking appear with a boy, and their eyes widened immediately. The faces of Zhang Honglei and his wife and Zhang Xiaotian changed instantly at this moment. He is my boyfriend. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 19. In the private room, the faces of Zhang Honglei and his family suddenly became very ugly. Unexpectedly, Qin Yaking actually brought a boyfriend in after being out for 2 minutes. As for Qin Yaking's parents, Qin Lai and his wife, they were also looking at their daughter in disbelief at this moment. When did her daughter actually become friends? I thought my daughter just made excuses like that, but now that these people are here, they can't help but not believe it. This is impossible. How is this possible? You definitely don't have a boyfriend, you live alone in the villa. Zhang Xiaotian looked at Qin Yaking in disbelief and couldn't help but say. But as soon as Zhang Xiaoshan's words came out, Qin Yaking's eyes suddenly condensed, and the expressions of Zhang Honglei and Qin Lai next to them changed again. Are you investigating me? Qin Yaking was not stupid. She directly heard other thoughts from Zhang Xiaoshan's unintentional words and said with a serious face. Zhang Xiaoshan's expression suddenly changed and he said quickly. Yaking, listen to my explanation, I care about you. If you really don't like me, you don't have to find this guy to deal with it. Immediately, Zhang Xiaotian glanced at Li Hao again, and then said sarcastically. Just him. The total cost of what he's wearing doesn't exceed 1,000 yuan, right? What do you do at home? What are you doing now? Do you have a house to live in? Hearing Zhang Xiaoshan's words, even Qin Yaking was stunned. Because even she knew nothing about Li Hao except that this guy's villa was next to her own. Next to them, Qin Lai and his wife also looked at Li Hao, with curiosity in their eyes. He looked pretty good, with fair skin and a delicate appearance, but he was a bit too young. I wonder what he did. If you want to be their son-in-law, you can't be too ordinary. Qin Yaking didn't know what to say. She looked at Li Hao beside her and couldn't help but feel speechless. Since this guy could afford to live in a villa in Jiangbei No. 1 courtyard, he shouldn't be short of money, and he didn't know how to get himself a high-end outfit. And now, this guy is still standing dumbly, as if he is not ready to speak. Is he so cowardly? Isn't it just pretending to be your boyfriend? Moreover, this guy actually took out his mobile phone and started playing with it. What's going on? He is actually still thinking about playing with his mobile phone. Qin Yaking immediately tugged on Li Hao's clothes and glared at Li Hao. Only then did Li Hao react. In fact, he didn't deliberately play with his cell phone without speaking, it was just because Li Hao discovered that the pretty boy in front of him actually had an exclamation mark on his head. Prompt information. We met here again. Li Hao took his mobile phone just to scan the QR code to pay and read the prompts. The next moment, a smile appeared on the corner of Li Hao's mouth, and there was a strange look in his eyes when he looked at Zhang Xiaotian. I'm sorry, you seem to have said it wrong. Li Hao said calmly to Zhang Xiaotian. Zhang Xiaotian? Qin Lai and the others next to him also looked puzzled. The next moment, Li Hao said very seriously. This set of clothes I just bought yesterday cost more than 1,000. Puff. When Zhang Xiaotian heard Li Hao's words, he couldn't help laughing. Haha, it really made me laugh. More than 1,000? It's really expensive, I admit, I really said it wrong. So what do you do? What does your family do? Do you think you are worthy? Can I go to Yaking? Qin Yaking next to her rolled her eyes crazily. Did this guy do this on purpose? I only heard Li Hao speak again. I am a college student now, without a father or a mother, and an orphan. As for whether I am worthy of Yaking, at least I am much more worthy than you. As soon as Li Hao said this, a strange look flashed in Qin Yaking's eyes. It was not surprising that Li Hao was a student. What surprised Qin Yaking was that Li Hao turned out to be an orphan without a father or mother. So how could he afford it? Villas. Haha, you're an orphan? A college student? You still live in a dormitory, right? You can't afford a car, right? Why on earth do you think you're worthy of me? Hearing this, Zhang Xiaotian sneered again and said coldly to Li Hao. Haha. At this time, Li Hao laughed again. Everyone was puzzled. The next moment, I heard Li Hao say proudly again. Why? Just because Yaking likes me. Just because I like Yaking too. As Li Hao spoke, he actually put his arms around Qin Yaking's slender waist, as if provoking. Smooth and boneless. It's so cool. Qin Yaking next to her tensed up in an instant. Her pretty face flushed with shame at this moment, but she scolded Li Hao in her heart. This was taking advantage of her in front of her parents. She still couldn't. So resistant. When Zhang Xiaotian saw this scene, he was about to explode with anger. Yaking, I really like you. You won't be happy if you follow this guy. Zhang Xiaotian said again to Qin Yaking. But Li Hao laughed again. Haha. You like Yaking? Didn't you fight with two young models for a few minutes at the Prince Hotel last night? How dare you say you like Yaking? When Li Hao's voice fell, Zhang Xiaotian pointed at Li Hao and said in shock as if he had seen a ghost. How do you know? Immediately afterwards, Zhang Xiaotian quickly covered his mouth, but the words had already left his mouth. As for how Li Hao knew it? Of course, it was the system prompt, and there were more prompts about Zhang Xiaotian. Next to him, Zhang Honglei's face suddenly turned cold when he heard this, and he secretly said in his heart that it was not good. He naturally knew what kind of character his son was in his daily life, but he didn't expect that this boy was more romantic than when he was young, and the point was that this boy and the two young models only fought for a few minutes? What the hell is this? Qin Lai and his wife's faces also became extremely gloomy at this moment, and they were glad that their daughter didn't like the other party, who was actually a scumbag. You are talking nonsense, Yaking, this is not true. Zhang Xiaotian said hurriedly. But at this moment, Qin Yaking looked at Zhang Xiaotian with only disgust and nausea in her eyes. Whether it is nonsense or not, you know it yourself, but I still advise you to go to the hospital for a physical examination when you have time, your kidneys are almost failing. Li Hao said another sentence, but it directly hit Zhang Xiaotian's pain point. You. Zhang Xiaotian was angry and furious, but he couldn't get angry. He was afraid. Bastard, damn it. Zhang Honglei couldn't stand it anymore, and immediately said to Qin Lai. Sorry, Mr. Qin, I made you laugh today. Xiao Tian is indeed not worthy of niece yaking, but I still have to say that with the strength of your family, this kid is even less worthy of niece yaking. After saying that, Zhang Honglei shouted at the door again. Waiter, check out. But at this moment, a voice came from the door. No need to pay. Mr. Li's girlfriend is eating at his own hotel, no need to pay. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 20. Director Li's girlfriend doesn't have to pay for dinner at his hotel? A voice came from the door, everyone turned their heads, and immediately saw many figures appearing at the door of the private room. The leader was a thin middle-aged foreign man, and the one who just spoke was a Mediterranean man in a suit who was following him. Behind them, there were a group of bodyguards and some hotel managers. A total of 20 or 30 people. Qin Lai, Zhang Honglei and others were shocked when they saw this scene. The other side is such a big battle. Outside, some people walked out of many private rooms in the corridor. They were all shocked by this scene, and they were all wondering what kind of big shot was coming. Qin Lai and Zhang Honglei were not ordinary people. When they saw this middle-aged foreign man, they could clearly feel the powerful aura coming towards them. It is the aura of a person who has been in power for a long time, and it cannot be developed overnight. The visitor is extraordinary. This was the feeling that Qin Lai and Zhang Honglei had in their hearts at the same time. The pot-bellied Mediterranean man next to them, the two of them knew each other, was Wu Guanghui, the general manager of the Shanglaxi Hotel, who was also worth hundreds of millions. But even so, Wu Guanghui stood aside mainly as this foreign man. Who is he? What did Wu Guanghui mean by what he just said? Such questions couldn't help but arise in everyone's minds. Mr. Wu, what do you mean? Zhang Honglei asked Wu Guanghui in a deep voice. Mr. Zhang, Mr. Qin, you don't need to pay for this meal today. Wu Guanghui naturally knew Qin Lai and Zhang Honglei and said immediately. Why? Do you think I, Zhang Honglei, can't afford this money? Zhang Honglei said again, already a little unhappy. Not to mention that his son was in trouble just now, but now he is being looked down upon? Mr. Zhang, that's not what I meant. Wu Guanghui said again, and he followed the middle-aged foreign man beside him and walked in. Except for a translator assistant, the others were waiting at the door. Because this Mr. Li Hao is the second largest shareholder of our group and the owner of our Shanglaxi Hotel. Since this lady is Director Li's girlfriend, she is the proprietress of our hotel. The proprietress is in her own home. Do you still have to pay for the hotel meal? Wu Guanghui smiled again and said lightly. But his words just fell. What? The second largest shareholder of the group? What group? How is this possible? Next to him, Zhang Xiaotian had a look of horror on his face, and said in disbelief. Just now, he was mocking the other person for being an orphan and a student. He was afraid that he could not afford a house or a car and was not worthy of Qin Yaking, but now he was listening to how could he believe this shocking news. Mr. Wu, this is not a mistake, is it? Zhang Honglei was also very shocked, and his expression became extremely unnatural. Qin Lai next to him was almost as shocked as Zhang Honglei, and there was something strange in his eyes when he looked at Li Hao. And Qin Yaking, who was looking at Li Hao beside her with her mouth wide open in disbelief. Is he the owner of this hotel? And the other party actually said that she was the boss's wife? Isn't this too sudden? Qin Yaking's pretty face turned red involuntarily. Wu Guanghui did not answer Zhang Honglei's words, but looked at Li Hao. Is the young man in front of him the second largest shareholder of their group? So young. Moreover, it is so low-key. If the Global Human Resources President hadn't come here next to him, he wouldn't have known that the group's second largest shareholder was actually in his hotel. Even at this moment, the young man in front of him still looks calm and composed. With this demeanor, he is worthy of being the second largest shareholder of the group. Hello, Director Li. I am Wu Guanghui, the General Manager of our Shanglaxi Hotel. This is Mr. Yasuo who just came from the headquarters of our Yuhao Group in the United States to see you. He is also the Global Manager of our Yuhao Group. President of Human Resources. Wu Guanghui immediately introduced Li Hao respectfully. Li Hao nodded and looked at this middle-aged foreigner. He turned out to be the boss of Yuhao Group and came specifically to see him. Ding dong, congratulations to the host, you have avoided a loveless family marriage and received the reward, proficiency in 18 languages, namely American Mandarin, Ross Mandarin, Island Mandarin, Romantic Mandarin, Car Mandarin, Flower Mandarin, Bird Mandarin Mandarin. Suddenly, at this time, the system's prompt tone sounded in Li Hao's head again. At this moment, Li Hao suddenly felt a huge amount of information pouring into Li Hao's mind, as if it was embedded in his memory. Instantly mastered the languages of 18 countries. This reward was obviously obtained after the prompt from Zhang Xiaotian just now. Li Hao now understands some of the rules of system rewards. After every prompt, as long as he acts according to the prompts, he will be rewarded. Li Hao couldn't help but shout in his heart, the system is awesome, YYDS. This time the reward is not a fixed asset like money, but a kind of ability. And this ability can be used just in time. Hello Mr. Li Hao. At this time, Yasuo also had a smile on his face, stretched out his hand directly to Li Hao, and spoke actively to Li Hao in suffocated Chinese. Hello. Li Hao also smiled and stretched out his hand to shake it. Mr. Li, I'm here. Yasuo immediately said, stating the purpose of his coming here. Mr. Li, I'm here. Next to him, Yasuo's assistant just began to translate. No, I understand. Li Hao said with a smile. Then he actually started to communicate with Yasuo directly in extremely fluent and authentic American language, which shocked everyone, even the assistant next to him. Next, Yasuo personally taught Li Hao to familiarize himself with the internal work platform of the group company. The two left contact information with each other, and even entered Li Hao's fingerprint and facial information into the system. In the future, as long as it is a hotel under the Yuhao Group or other industries, all consumption does not cost a penny. Even Li Hao has the title of the Global Executive President of the Yuhao Group on his head. While Li Hao and Yasuo were communicating, Zhang Honglei and his wife had already left with Zhang Xiaotian. It's not good to stay any longer. Will staying any longer only get slapped in the face? Not long after, Yasuo left here with his assistant and others. The person has been seen, and the things that the chairman asked to be explained have been explained. Let's go, Yaking, it's time for us to go back. Li Hao was very happy, and said to Qin Yaking beside him, preparing to leave. Boss Li, why don't you stay here tonight? The presidential suite on the top floor is still empty.